Alright, YouTube. This is part two of my starting over in a new country series. Um, when you're starting from scratch, you don't have a lot of money. You're going to need to cut the cost of your overhead, or what I call your burn rate. If you want to prosper and survive in a new location, you're going to have to live cheap. At least I like to, anyways. Maybe a lot cheaper than you're used to. For this reason, you can make your savings last as long as you can, so you have enough money to pay for your food, rent, and other expenses before running out. To me, the fastest way to cut your expenses is to move to somewhere cheap, and to do that as fast as you can. So move into a smaller apartment in another neighborhood. I've done that quite a few times in my life. It's worked out pretty good. Believe it or not, there's a few places still in the U.S. where you can live in an apartment for $200 a month, at least in the Midwest. I don't know about anywhere else. That's pretty rare though now. My last apartment in the States, in a small town, was $500. Anyhow, the fastest way to cut your expenses is to lower your housing costs. And to do that, you're probably going to have to move, so just bite the bullet and move. So to do that, move to a smaller town outside of a bigger city. That's one way to do it. You still have access to jobs and airports, unlike being a small town out in the middle of nowhere. It may be cheap, but you can't get anywhere fast. Or you might think of living in a mobile home if you're living in the States or Australia, places like that, or even Canada. So if you're European flying into the States, that's a kind of a cheap way to live too. I've even seen people living in their vans. If you Google that or get on YouTube and go or use YouTube search the search engine there, it's really interesting what people are doing in their vans. I can't speak to Europe. In the United States, it's very popular for people to live in their vans, even take their vans across the border to Mexico and live that way. And really, some of them take a showers just to buy a gym membership and do it that way. Anyhow, when you find a cheap place, consider getting rid of your car. That's where where I live, I don't really need a car. Even though I live in a pretty big city in Guatemala, I don't really need a car. So I don't have a car payment or anything, so that keeps my costs of living down here pretty cheap. When I used to live in the States, I used to use a bike. Not always, but instead of using my car some days. That's mainly because I live very close to my job. And nowadays, I consider living less than 3 miles from my job is a must thing you have to do because of right now the price of oil is low, but in the future I think you're going to see oil go back up again. So the cost of renting a car is going to get to be expensive again. If you're looking for a cheap car, just get on Craigslist. You get one for under $1,000. Just do that if you absolutely need a car. Down here in Guatemala, you can get cars for that or less, but they're kind of crappy. So, like I said, I don't really need one. As long as you got your transportation worked out and your housing, these are the tools you're going to need to start making money. This is the more important part of the video. You need a computer. You're going to need a light computer, so when you travel, it doesn't weigh you down. I like computers that weigh under 3 pounds or less. And you need anyways, you don't need a lot of space to edit videos, so that means a laptop with an SD card port, a Wi-Fi connection. You can find them for under $200 at Walmart or on Craigslist for used ones under 100. Even where I live in Central America, they're that cheap. Second tool you're going to need is an email address. As soon as you get that laptop, go to your local library if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection, or Mickey D's. Even down here, McDonald's has free Wi-Fi. Or wherever you can get your Wi-Fi, sign up for a Gmail account. It doesn't have to be a Gmail account, but a Gmail works really well for this kind of a strategy. One of the many benefits of Gmail is you get free phone service you can use on Craigslist or the local versions of Craigslist down here, or wherever you happen to live, and all the free space they give you for email. Since it's a Google product, you can use it for Google Docs and a YouTube account. It can make things really easy. After that, the third thing you're going to need is you need a PayPal account you can use for eBay and your Gmail address. This allows you to get paid really easy. I know PayPal is a pain in the neck and not always the best solution, but if you're in another country or if you're out of a job and you earn income fast, you're going to need PayPal. After you get more established, there's other payment plans, there are payment processors out there that might make sense for you, but set up a PayPal account mainly because that's what people are used to. They're used to paying with PayPal. It's a trusted service, so that's why I say you need it, at least starting out. Then the fourth thing you want to do is set up a YouTube account. You're going to post your videos there and you're going to monetize them with ads. That's how you're going to get paid. YouTube, if you look at YouTube as kind of a sales funnel, you can use this for this strategy, but it's also YouTube can use for other strategies. It's a sales funnel. That's how you can make actually a tremendous amount of money even without using AdSense. Then the fifth thing you need is a camera. Even a cheap digital camera or a cheap phone camera works well. So like if you sell things on Craigslist or eBay, you make little videos, you can upload it. Most people don't do that, so that makes you stand out if you do that, especially in Latin America. Or if you're out of the first world countries, that really makes you stand out. It makes it easier to sell stuff. I like small pocket cameras that you can conceal and hide really well, like a Canon ELPH or the ELF or the 110. You can get the bigger ones, but I like those because they're easy to carry around when you're traveling. You see something interesting, just pull it out, make a small video, then upload it to YouTube, then monetize it with AdSense. You can get the DSLRs, but they kind of slow you down and they're heavy to carry around. And to me, they're a pain in the neck, but everyone's different on what you want for quality. You may not have the money from now, but you can get a cheap camera for under $300 now, or even 50 if you get it used on Amazon. A camera is really important for this strategy, so don't cheap out on it. You need to get the camera. Even if you just use your phone camera, that'll work pretty well too. Then the sixth thing you need is a video editing program. Since I'm on Windows, I just use the Windows Movie Maker version, but there's a lot of different software programs out there that you can use. I just like free for this kind of strategy. Then the seventh thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to monetize your YouTube account. After you get your camera, you make some videos and upload them to YouTube. And it's important to make 10 or more right away. And here's why. Don't worry about the view count for these first few videos. The goal is just to make some and monetize them, and get the experience of making videos and posting them and editing them. That's the most important thing, is learn how to post, edit, and get it up there fast. If you do all of the above, here's what you're going to accomplish: a computer and a way to get online via Wi-Fi, the way to accept payment via PayPal, the way to sell items on eBay if that pertains to you, or just substitute Craigslist for the local version of whatever you have. Here in Guatemala, I forget what it's called, but we have a local version that works really well for this strategy. A way to make pictures of things you want to sell. You can embed the video on eBay, and I think you can do it on Craigslist too. I haven't done it in a while, but you can do it. You have to have a way to make videos and a way to edit videos in a YouTube account. So those are all things that are really important to do in a way to monetize your videos on your YouTube account. And like I said, you want to look at YouTube as like a sales funnel. So in this case, you're just using YouTube to earn money from AdSense, so you monetize that way. But in later videos or later talks, I can show you how to use it as a sales funnel to earn money in different ways too. Anyway, it's just a few things you need to start doing usually before you travel. Get this all started before you leave. It's a lot easier and a lot less of a pain in the neck if you do it now before you leave. I'm not sure why that PayPal can be a pain in the neck when you're using overseas. So if you start using it and get it all set before you leave, it just works out much better. And here's just a few things. You can do all these things without needing a website or a domain name, or even to sell a product, although I'm going to talk about that later in later videos, how you can sell a product. Relatively easy no matter where you live in the world. Get a couple $100 going in the bank. And another thing about this, you don't need an office or any kind of location. That's what's cool about this. In part 3 of this video, I will continue on with this thing. Anyhow, like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.